guys, Dr. Video Game here, and I'm here to talk about the Retron 5 console coming out within the next 30 about days. They said it's coming out finally, so I think I should get a couple words in so you guys know whether or not you want to get that final little pre-order, that final little bit of money saved up so you can get it when it comes out. We're going to start off with talking about how this is the Retron 5. It's the successor to the Retron 3 by Hyperkin, and this console is going to allow you to play 9 consoles and 10 if you buy a special adapter. It's going to allow you to play the Super Nintendo, the Super Famicom, the Genesis, the Mega Drive, the Famicom, the Game Boy Color, and I'm blank, Game Boy Advance, all on one system. And allows you to play the Master System if you buy the power-based converter. What this console has special though is it's not just all that. It allows you to stream it all in HDMI to your TV, and it gives you a graphical user interface that allows you to have cheat codes and save states, and allows you to edit video settings for video enhancement, so you can put some different filters and shade effects and scan lines to make your game look better. This is what could be the ultimate retro consoles. With the Nintendo Entertainment System, Genesis, and Super Nintendo all out on the Retron 3, what really makes it special? Well, for the fact that it's almost region free. It's allowing you to play Mega Drive and Super Famicom and Famicom. It's allowing you to play games that you can import from other countries. Without modification of consoles or extra converters, you cannot do this on your original consoles. Another special thing is this is adding a Game Boy slot that's allowing you to play Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Color games on the console to your TV. You guys are probably thinking that you can do this with your GameCube's Game Boy player. Well, those are prone to break pretty easily. I'm not sure this is going to be much higher quality by any means, I cannot tell you that, but I'm telling you that this is going to allow you to stream it to your TV, and plus the GameCube cannot stream in HD to your TV. It's allowing you to play your Game Boy games on your HD TV in full screen. Now I just want to go in a little in-depth view of the user interface. So what it's going to do is it's going to have a drop-down menu allowing you to choose what console you're trying to edit. It's going to let you choose from Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo, Famicom, Game Boy Advance, which includes all the Game Boy games, and Genesis, which includes your Mega Drive. What's going to happen is when you click on it, it's going to allow you to edit your display settings and your audio settings. You can turn I think they're calling sound enhancement on. So say your game isn't playing well, or the sound doesn't sound right, you can try to put the sound enhancement up, and if this works out well, then you get better sound on your game, allowing it to be more like the original console. And then if we do display settings, which is the other option when you pull this up, it's going to allow you to add filters, which I guess if you don't like how the game's looking, you can add a filter to it, and if it's looking pretty good, if it looks better that way, you can leave the filter on. You can add scan lines on it. Scan lines, I do not necessarily know what a scan line does, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be used to make the games look better again. And say you're trying to expand it on the TV, you can put it on widescreen mode where it stretches, or where it goes complete, or where it fills the full screen. You're going to be able to edit to condense it down, maybe if you want to condense it down because it's looking a little too stretched out. All of that. You can get your screen size to go up, which is the same exact thing as I was talking about before. Another thing you can do in the user interface is when you have a game inserted, because a lot of people when they use emulators, they like to put the cheat codes on, or they'll hook up a Game Shark, I guess you could do, and put some cheat codes on your original console. You can put cheat codes on just through the user interface on this. If we look at this, this is The Legend of Zelda, and it shows the cheat codes you can put on. This is going to allow people, if you beat the game, going to add a little bit of longevity to the game. It's going to allow you to play a little more, try a couple things. Maybe you just want to beat the game so you can view the story quickly. You can put on some like invincibility cheat codes, run straight through the game. You know, it's going to add a little bit of something extra to this console. Another reason to buy it. Okay, next I'm going to just do a quick thing about this controller that they have. It has a plus, a minus, and 3 arrow buttons. This is, I think the buttons were laid out perfectly, because on the Super Nintendo I had a 4, it probably is going to use 4 buttons, 4 probably directional buttons, and then you got the little finger pad, which I'm not so keen on, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. And then for the Genesis had 3 buttons in a row, and guess what? They have buttons in a row like that. So you have 3 buttons. Instead you have a 6-button Genesis games, there's 6 buttons. Sure, they're not laid out the same as they were on the Genesis controller, but this controller compensates for the different consoles. For Nintendo, there's only 2 buttons on the controller. You can just use 2 buttons normally. It compensates for the 3 consoles. They put those 3 consoles together and organize the buttons to be able to be used by the 3 consoles games. I think they did a fine job on that. Then they got the home button on the console, or on the controller, which is a little bit different than, I guess you could say, from other retro consoles. But this is so you can connect with the user interface automatically. I think it's perfectly placed, so you're just going to be right there, and it's going to be a useful little feature. Sure, if you plug in one of your controllers and play with it, there is not going to be a home button. That's going to be the downside to plugging in your own controller. But it's not going to be bad because you can just pick up this controller quickly, click that home button, and then look, you got the UI up again. You guys are probably going to complain about the thumb pad, the thumbstick. You have the right to. We would rather a D-pad when we're playing retro consoles. But this thumbstick is because Nintendo has a copyright thing on the D-pad, and because Sony has the arrows already, and Microsoft had their D-pad variation, Hyperkin, I bet, could not think of what they wanted to do for a D-pad. And putting this thumbstick in was an easier option, and it's right there, and you're able to quickly use it. It's not like it's going to ruin a game. I mean, you press the D-pad on 2 things, you go in a direction diagonal. You hold that at diagonal, you go diagonal. You hold it to the right, you go right. You press the right button on the D-pad, you go right. It's going to work out fine. It's going to be able to. It's a very playable controller. It has all the buttons you need. They're laid out in a decent format, and you're going to be able to play your games like you play them on the original console. And if you don't like the console that much, you can plug in your own controller with the controller ports they were putting on the side. They have 2 controller ports for each of the retro consoles, and that's as many as there were on the original console, so you can play multiplayer just like you did on the original console. I want to add on that the controller is now Bluetooth technology and not infrared like the Retron 3 was. So now if there's something that walks in front of the controller, it's not going to all of a sudden not work anymore. It's like the same technology in your Xbox 360 controller. You could pretty much hold it under the blanket and it will still work. Another big thing is that the Retron 5 is only costing $100. The price is cheap for all you're getting, in my opinion. Compared to another console that's $100, the Ouya is $100. This thing looks 10 times more worth it than the Ouya. The Ouya has maybe 4 games worth playing. This console has, I don't know, you can add up the libraries of all the games and then just take the good ones out of it. I guarantee there's I'm just going to say over 1,000 games worth playing on the Retron 5 because of the consoles that it supports. It has the amazing libraries of the NES, the SNES, the amazing games of the Genesis, the amazing Game Boy games, the amazing Game Boy Advance games, Game Boy Color has some good games. There's just so many good games that you're going to be able to play on your Retron 5. And I know for a fact I want the console now. If I got the console and it emulates as good as everyone's saying, I can put my Super Nintendo and the Genesis both back in storage and safekeeping so that they last longer. And I will be better off if I have the console. I cannot wait to get my hands on one of these. I'm not sure if I hope my information at least gave you a little understanding of what the Retron 5 is. Right now, everything's looking promising, and until I get my hands on one, I do not know if the console is going to be as good as it is. All I know is I'm very hyped for it, and I'm pretty sure it's going to turn out to be pretty great. This is Dr. Video Game, and I'm out. I'll see you in the next episode. Make sure to comment, rate, subscribe, all of that, and I'll see you soon.